Hello, welcome to Sleep Hacker 101 live episode 001 pilot. Today we're going to be talking about circadian rhythms and how it applies to you getting better sleep so you can live the better life that you want to live. So I just want to cram all the most important information into the first part of the video. And then we can have a discussion and it can go on. Or I can start with the smallest amount of information, expand on it a little bit more for folks who want to stick around for the whole video, and then open it up to discussion from there. So the thing I want to talk about today is the circadian rhythm. And specifically, I'm going to highlight an article that I have found that talks about the circadian rhythm, and it's actually not as much the article as it is the infographic. I think the infographic is really cool and kind of breaks down the circadian rhythm to a very, well, check it out. So here we have a graphic. Let me make sure that I am sharing this. Notice that present to everyone. Okay, so now hopefully you can see my screen, and it looks like you can there. So here's the circadian rhythm. By the way, this is the Brain Treatment Center for Sleep, PTC. I've never heard of them until today, and I haven't looked at much of their website. So if you want to go check it out and tell me more about it, post a video and summarize it for me. That would be wonderful for not just me, for a lot of other people who might prefer a video to actually reading the thing. So circadian rhythm, and it kind of gives you the whole breakdown on how that happens. And it's quite amazing. So, and the article looks like it also goes on to talk about what is so important about the circadian rhythm. I think I might read that myself and highlight it for you guys. But anyway, so circadian rhythm, activated by sunlight during daytime. So your circadian rhythm is activated by the sunlight during the daytime. This is what keeps you awake during the day and what makes you feel tired at night. So activated by sunlight during daytime, SCN project inhibitory information to PVN in hypothalamus. The long axons of PVN then send nerve pulses down to the preganglionic sympathetic neurons of the spinal cord, which in turn modulate the activity of the superior cervical ganglia. The later further project the pineal gland to regulate the secretion of melatonin. Okay, so I'm going to edit that part out and put it a little later, probably after this short synopsis. I realize now I should just synopsis what I know, and then we can go in for a closer look, where I'm even doing the learning. So we have the circadian rhythm here, and quickly what it is that this blue spectrum of the light here is what stimulates you to be awake during the day. So what you essentially want to do is you want to avoid any kind of bright blue light, any light that's on this side of the spectrum here, while you're about to go to bed, and that includes the white light, which has all the light in it. So you want to stay away from this field of light when you're going to sleep. at least an hour before bed, maybe more, and try to stick to this spectrum. They have light bulbs that you can buy in the store that are called bug lights, and those work well to keep things lit up. As well as for your devices, you can get red film to put over your screens, or you can actually find apps like this one, Flux, F.LUX, which actually will change the color of your screen depending on with the sleep cycle. I'm not even sure if you can tell that it's changing my screen, its color, but it just did when I click that. So there's that. There's also Twilight for Android, and that's what I have on my Android device. So it will actually do the same thing. So essentially what happens is that this blue light goes in through the eye, goes through the optic nerve, and basically 2/3 of your optic nerve, from what I've heard, run directly into your suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, which basically tells your whole body, gives it its rhythm, its circadian rhythm, your life cycles rhythm. It's really kind of central to who we are. It's quite small. So, and basically what happens is that when blue light is being signaled here through a process, it actually starts telling the pineal gland to not produce or stop producing melatonin. However, if there is no blue light coming in, then the pineal gland is free to produce melatonin. You feel sleepy, you go to sleep and feel good and get all the benefits of good natural melatonin in your blood while you're sleeping. So let's go ahead and expand on that, and we'll go through this image kind of thoroughly, or give it a once over here. Activated by sunlight during daytime. So your circadian rhythm's activated by sunlight during the daytime through this process, essentially. SCN, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, project inhibitory information to PVN. So that's the paraventricular nucleus, the PVN here, in hypothalamus. So that is there in the hypothalamus, which is underneath the thalamus, if I remember correctly, if that's the thalamus. Looks like the third eye. Some would point out, I think the Eye of Horus, that might be incorrect, but anyway, I'm going to fact check that right now. So to PVN and hypothalamus, the long axons of PVN then send nerve impulses down to the, okay, so what we have is the SCN receiving signals from the optic nerve saying there's blue light out there. So then with the SCN here, this little red guy, tells this guy, the PVN, the PVN, the CN tells the PVN to, hey, basically don't, right? Inhibitory information. It's projecting inhibitory information to the PVN. So, and I think this infographic right here is telling you how exactly that works, which is pretty amazing. But I'd need little signs telling me what each information thing here is. But anyway, I think the light, oh, maybe this is like the blue light. So it goes in here and then tells these guys something, which I guess is what's happening right here. So we have that being projected to there. So the long axons of PVN then send nerve impulses down. Okay, so I guess that's what this green line here is. Yep, going all the way down here. Pregangliotic sympathetic neurons. Down to the preganglionic sympathetic neurons of the spinal cord. So yeah, that looks kind of far down. I wonder how far down that is. In the neck? Because that's kind of interesting from a chiropractic point of view. If you have a I think, a subluxation around this, which I'm guessing it's in the neck, but maybe it is way down. But if you had a subluxation there, that from maybe hunching over and working at your job so long, then that could inhibit that response. So the long axons of PVN then send nerve impulses down to the preganglionic sympathetic neurons. Well, I could probably do a whole show just breaking down these words too, which usually makes it easier to help remember. But anyway, so we'll keep it on the surface level here. So the PSN, the pissin, the CN PVN pissin. That's to help me try to remember that is what I'm doing there. So I'm not, just in case you thought I was just going crazy. So of the spinal cord, which in turn modulate the activity of the superior cervical ganglia. Okay, so which in turn modulate? So it's a modulation, basically sending a vibration, if I think that's right. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up, but maybe later, which in turn modulate the activity of the superior cervical ganglia. So of the superior cervical ganglia. So that's this guy. What could we call him? Which in turn modulate the activity of the superior cervical. So yeah, that's the neck, right? The cervical. Ganglia. So yeah, up here, I guess, kind of around where your jaw is, which might be pretty interesting from a TMJ point of view. Our friend Dr. Dave Shirazi might have some information on that as a matter of a yes or a no. So modulate the activity of the superior cervical ganglia. The latter further project to the pineal gland to regulate the secretion of melatonin. So, okay. So what we have is the light coming in. It's hitting the CN, SCN, which kind of looks like that, which sends an inhibitory, stop that information or notice to the PVN, which is the para, so alongside ventricular, so alongside the ventricular nucleus. Okay then. So the PVN, and so the PVN sends pulses down this long nerve. So it's long axons down here into the spinal cord, which it hits the, which in turn modulate the activity of the superior cervical ganglia. Okay, so then again, cervical, so it's got to be probably in the neck. Maybe Dr. Nick from the Santa Barbara Family Chiropractic could help us with these questions sometime, or have just an episode where we talk about it. So cervical. Totally going to be wrong on this. It's going to be hilarious. Anatomy is an adjective that two meanings of. Pertaining to the neck or the female cervix. I was hoping. Okay, well, cool. So I'm talking about the neck one, if you didn't notice. Which in turn modulate the activity of the superior cervical ganglia. It's all the way up here. So the latter, I'm thinking it's the previous one, further project to the pineal gland, looks like it's going through here, to regulate the secretion of melatonin. So it's primarily going, hey, regulate your secretion of melatonin. So to regulate is to hold back, which is an interesting word when you think about it in use with government. So yeah, there we go. So we have the blue light that comes in, right? From this spectrum, it gets passed through the optic nerve to the SCN, which is the suprachiasmatic nucleus. which then sends a signal to the paraventricular nucleus. And then that in turn goes down to the superior cervical ganglia, and which that comes all the way back up and tells the pineal gland, hey, take it easy with the production of melatonin. It's still daytime outside. So the circadian rhythm can be disrupted. And these are the things that disrupt them. Exposure to 400 to 500 nm light at night. On this graphic, I really would have wished they would have said spectrums around the blue light, because this is, yeah. I read that and didn't know what that meant until I kind of put 2 and 2 together. So from the 400 to the 500 nm. So just put blue light there, guys. And then maybe this up here. Not receiving the light in the morning. So if you don't get up and get that light in your eyes in the morning, like what we're kind of been doing for a long time is actually letting the sun wake us up. So get that light in the morning. That's going to help out a lot. Jet lag results in an imbalance of neurotransmitters and hormones. So when you go from one area where the sun is rising and falling at near the same time every day, and then you're all of a sudden in a time zone where it's different. Your brain's going to have to recalibrate. It's a big train wreck in your brain that happens. If you could see this, this is just working like clockwork, based only on sunlight. And then so what you do is you go, and it's amazing how small of a change it is, but the going from one time zone to the other, it's just a few hours, but it can make huge difference in people who are sensitive to this. So maybe people who are very sensitive to that have a very good sense of rhythm. So yeah, jet lag isn't good, and you can create your own jet lag by staying up too late, not going to bed at the same time every day, and getting up the same time every day. These are all basic, what we call sleep hygiene. You know, limiting your exposure to light, not having a TV or any devices in your bedroom because of the blue light, which could mess up your circadian rhythm, even if it is very faint, even if it's that blue light flickering off in the distance from, you know, your VCR, that can mess up your sleep and make you feel miserable during the day. So shift work, there I am as a sleep tech. Shift work, where workers are exposed to visible light at night, deregulates a gene involved in controlling the circadian rhythm. So friends, family, if you're wondering what's off, here it is right here. So I work nights, so I'm exposed to visible light at night, and it deregulates a gene within my DNA involved in controlling the circadian rhythm. So this is not good, because, you know, that train wreck, it's just happening all of the time. And I find it so funny because this is one of the first things. Hold on, let me go back to camera here. So turn off the screen share. So I got the sun coming in right there. Feels nice here in sunny Santa Barbara. So one of the first things that we learn as sleep techs is this very thing, how the circadian rhythm is managed by Zeitgebers, which is time givers in the German. So it's the word that we call it, Zeitgebers, which are time givers that actually tell your body how to regulate itself. And so the first thing you're taught is how delicate this balance is, super delicate. And then pretty much it's like, okay, get back to work. That was fun, wasn't it? Pretty interesting. Yeah, you work nights, you're doomed. Well, that last part was inferred. So let's go back to our graphic here. Okay, so here's our graphic. So we have the blue light. You want to stay away from blue light other than sunlight. It's pretty much what I believe. And a good way to do that is with getting apps on your phone that in your computers that can actually change the color of your screen so that it's more, so it filters out the blue light at night, or all the time if you want. It's more natural that way. You should get out in the morning and really get all that delicious morning sunlight. That's wonderful, fantastic. You might feel like you've joined a new world doing that every day. Just, you know, letting the sun wake you up. As soon as it wakes you up, go out there and stand in front of it like a flower and really absorb it. And you'll start to notice that, well, if you think in kind of what sounds like almost new age talk or into more heart math, your vibration, right? Your normal schedule of ebb and flow of your life is going to get more regular, and you're going to start vibrating with the world that you want to live in. So, which means that you're going to be healthier, which is a really big vibration, right? If you think about it. I'm sorry about the saw out front. Done what I could. He should be done in a little bit. So, yeah, getting out there, getting that sun on your face at any time is wonderful to setting your biological clock. And especially in the morning, in the evening, at night, kind of almost makes you wonder about sun worship in the early days, or way back, you know, Egyptian. Maybe, you know, that provided just such an amazing change or quality of life in life that almost maybe felt spiritual. And then it being connected to the crops and everything, and you start seeing how everything is all one. So anyway, back to this reality. Jet lag, which is basically kind of the shift work, is just basically jet lag all the time. So you want to try to stay in your time zone. You are made for where you were born. So remember that with kind of, you know, the idea of justice, that you want to stay where you were put so that you can be the best that you can be. You're put there for a reason. So, and then shift work, you're just out of that ebb and flow, which really kind of connects to this one, not getting your morning light, getting my morning light right before I go to bed. So that's not good. Try to limit that activity. Although I love staying up and looking at the stars sometimes. And I think that can have a very orienting effect in our microbrains, or our brains too, based on how birds have been able to change their flight based on this very thing. I think the SCN is actually involved in these birds that navigate according to the Milky Way galaxy that we see in the sky. They actually vary their flight pattern. And they've noticed that, I think with the dung beetle, the same thing. But if they put different lights, it's actually the light of that is changing their direction. So it's not actually energy coming from those stars per se, as much as it is a GPS navigation orienter, which I guess you could, if you want to, again, think about the new age stuff, is kind of getting you aligned in your life. So if we didn't have all this unnatural light, especially the one beyond the blue spectrum, maybe that we have that part of, we have that in our brains as well. It's just that it also translates into our behavior, which largely dictate our direction in life, kind of more on a metaphysical scale. Mind-blowing. Anyway, so exposure to light at abnormal times or due to change in location will either disrupt the clock gene function or cause activation of the wake state of the circadian cycle at an abnormal time, such as in the evening. So, okay, then, you know, this very thing, that getting anything unnatural light is not good for you, especially if it's in that blue spectrum, and probably pretty much any time during the day. It's not as bad during the day because you're getting plenty of the blue light, the ultraviolet light, which is telling your body what's going on. But The only thing I would wonder is seeing that light coming up. I don't know. So anyway, so there you go. Light is very important to our lives. It's a lot about who we are, especially our general going to sleep and waking up cycle of life. And let's see, as this is a pilot, and I did not really advertise it much. I don't think I have anybody who's joined us. And so there's not going to be any questions and answers. We're going to have to do a, plan something out. Maybe this exact one again for an audience, or maybe a couple times, just this one to see how it goes, and then build on top of that. That sounds like a good idea. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud. That's basically all that I have to share with you today. And I'm happy that I was able to share it with you. What I should have done this whole time was showcase this website for you, which hopefully Google Hangouts can just pick that up through Chrome at some future time. Having a cool, or somebody can build a plugin that does it. So there's what I'm showcasing. Really got to remember to post that next time. So I hope that the people over at the Brain Treatment Center really appreciate me. Well, whether they do or not, I just thought this was fantastic not to share. So hopefully they don't mind that I'm giving them a little bit of free advertisement here, and they don't allow me, or don't mind me using it instead of not allowing me. So it looks like they have some great, wonderful stuff on sleep. Hopefully get in to read it and review it online here, and build an awesome cooperative universe. So looking forward to building an awesome cooperative universe with all of you. Please comment on this video, share, like, give me your feedback. This is the first one, and I hope to improve it from here. Thank you. Bye.